Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be predicting the entirety of the 2017 NFL playoffs, and I'm a little sick, so if I sound a little weird, okay, just bear with me. Also, this is just a picture that I got off of Bing, and obviously it's from Fansided, so do with that what you will. But I'm going to start off with the AFC first, and specifically Pittsburgh versus Miami. Now, this is actually pretty easy for me to predict. I don't know if Ryan Tannehill is even going to be playing, but at the same time, I don't really think it's going to make much of a difference. I think Pitt's going to win this one. I don't know why I said Pitt. Pittsburgh is going to win this one. Next is Houston and Oakland. Now, honestly, I could flip a coin on this one. Obviously, I think pretty much any football fan would agree with me on this. If the Raiders had Derek Carr, they'd beat the Texans easily. It'd probably be a landslide. But without Derek Carr, I don't even know if they're going to be able to beat Houston, especially since it's at Houston. But at the same time, I don't even know how Houston made the playoffs, so I am going to go with Oakland, but I'm going to say by about 3. Now, I know to a lot of people that might seem pretty crazy, only beating Houston by 3, because Oakland is a really talented team, other than just the quarterback position. But just judging off their Week 17 performance against the Broncos, I don't really know if they're going to be able to beat them by much more than that. Maybe by 7, but honestly, that's as far as I'm willing to go with that. So if that was the case, we would get Pittsburgh at Kansas City and Oakland at New England. Pittsburgh and Kansas City, that's just another game where honestly I could flip a coin on, but I think I got to give the edge to Kansas City. I just feel like they're, a little bit better team, and it's at Kansas City, so that's honestly another big factor for me. So I say give this one to KC by about 7 to 10, probably 10. Now, Oakland at New England, honestly, I could see this going one of two ways. Both ways Oakland loses, but one, somehow they actually keep it to a pretty close game but lose at the end, or 2, New England just blows them out, which is always a possibility with New England. But I think they're going to, keep it relatively close, but I think at the end they're going to lose by 14 to 17. I think near the end, New England is just going to start running away with it. And now we have Kansas City versus New England. Now, to a lot of people, New England, you'd probably just pick them right off the rip. It's at New England, and it's just New England. But if you guys remember last year's playoffs, I don't think anybody expected KC to keep it as close of a game as it was. But they did, and for some reason, I just have a good feeling about KC. Look, I'm not a New England hater, and if you're a New England fan, I'm sorry, don't get triggered, but honestly, I have KC winning. Now to start off with the NFC, we have Detroit versus Seattle at Seattle. And I say at Seattle with emphasis because I think if it was at Detroit, then it would have been a relatively close game. But I think since it's at Seattle, Seattle wins by at least 14 points or more. Now Green Bay versus the Giants. Listen, I know that Green Bay has been really good recently, but I really don't expect them to do good in the playoffs. I feel like the Giants are just one of those teams where, it's difficult for them to make the playoffs, but if they do, they turn into a better team. And for that reason, I know it's at Lambeau, but I think Green Bay's hot streak is going to run out at some point, and I think it's going to be to the Giants. And even if it didn't run out with the Giants, it definitely would have ran out with Dallas either way. So now we got the Giants at Dallas and Seattle at Atlanta. Now, before I say this, I want to let you guys know I am not a Dallas fan, but I think that they're going to beat the Giants this time. I was even watching First Take, I think a couple weeks ago. I think it was First Take at least. And I remember somebody saying that it's really hard to beat the same team 3 times in a year. It's happened, but it's really difficult to do. Now, don't quote me on the fact that was on First Take. I just think it was. It very easily could have not been. Regardless, it doesn't really matter where I heard that at, but I kind of agree with it, and I think that Dallas is a better team than the Giants overall. It does seem like the Giants have Dallas's number as of late, but I don't see them beating them 3 times in a row. Now you got Seattle at Atlanta, and I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Atlanta's honestly going to get exposed here. I think Seattle wins by at least like 10 points. So now you got Seattle at Dallas, and I think that if any team was going to stop Dallas from reaching the Super Bowl, it's Seattle. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Dallas ends up winning by at least 7. So now in the Super Bowl, we got Kansas City versus Dallas, and listen, I'm not a Kansas City fan either, but I honestly do kind of want them to win for some reason, I'm not going to lie. However, do I think that'll happen? Probably not. I think Dallas is going to win, and honestly, that's my predictions. I think Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl. Probably could have just told you guys that at the beginning of the video and saved about 10 minutes of your life, but you know what? That's just not fun. Regardless, though, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're a fan of any of the teams that I don't think are going to win the Super Bowl, feel free to not get triggered in the comments section below, or do get triggered actually. I'd like to read some of the comments. They'd probably be pretty funny. But anyways, I'll see you on the next video. My name's Dim Reflex, and I'm out. Peace.